Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Marianne. I talk about Chinese history, culture, language, and lifestyle. If you are interested in these topics, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so you'll be notified when I upload new videos every week. Okay, let's get started. Imagine yourself sitting at the dinner table with your family, eating rich Chinese dishes, fresh fruits, and mooncakes. The heat of summer is over, and the fresh wind, smelling of wet grass, starts to blow through the window. You take a glance outside of the window, and there it is, a big round moon, brighter than ever. What a lovely night, isn't it? Well, this is my memory of the Mid-Autumn festivals in my childhood. To put it simply, the Mid-Autumn festival, 中秋节, is kind of the equivalent of Chinese Thanksgiving. Families gather together, having great food and talks. But actually, it's much more than that. In this video, you will find out everything you need to know about the Mid-Autumn Festival, including its origin, the significance in Chinese culture, the food we eat for this festival, and the sentences, proverbs, even poems in Mandarin Chinese, so make sure to watch until the end. To tell you all about the Mid-Autumn Festival, firstly, I will need to tell you the legend of its origin. Once upon a time, there were 10 suns in the sky. They're supposed to come out every day, one by one, in shifts. But one day, they decided to start a riot. So all 10 of them hanging on the sky all at the same time for days and nights. You can imagine that the earth is becoming so hot that most plants, animals, and people died. The Jade Queen in heaven was very angry at the situation, so she came down to earth to find solutions. At that time, there was a great archer named Hou Yi. He's strong, capable, and has a super precise way with his bows and arrows. So the Jade Queen named him the Sun Killer, and he actually managed to shoot down 9 of the suns. That's why we only have one sun on the sky during the day. But the main character for our Mid-Autumn Festival story was not Hou Yi, but rather his wife, Chang'e. Because Hou Yi did a great job, the Jade Queen gave him an elixir, or a pill, to make him immortal. He wanted to keep this pill until he's old, but unfortunately, one of his squires heard him talking with his wife about this immortal pill. So one day when he was out hunting, the squire came to his house and threatened Chang'e to give him this immortal elixir. In order to prevent the bad guy from taking the elixir, she swallowed it and became immortal herself. Feeling guilty and desperate, she flew towards the moon with her white rabbit and lived there forever. When Hou Yi came back and found out, of course he was devastated. So every year when the moon is the biggest and brightest, he would take the table outside into the yard and have a dinner with his wife. Years and years passed and people kept this form of reunion. So we always have a feast on the biggest full moon of the year. That is the 15th of August in Chinese lunar calendar. In 2021, that will be September 21st. Since the date changes every year and the Chinese lunar calendar is rather complicated, I will make a separate video explaining the Chinese lunar calendar in detail. So make sure to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out. To put it simply, in Chinese culture, we worship the moon a lot. It's logical because the moon rules the tide and flow of water, and our body contains 60% water on average. On top of that, this night of full moon is particularly important. The full moon in mid-autumn marks the peak of the harvest season. That's why we eat so many fruits, meat, and pastries on the feast of Mid-Autumn Festival. It's to celebrate harvest, reward our hard work, and also gain some weight to prepare for the coming winter. Talking about the typical types of food we have for the Mid-Autumn Festival, we have so many varieties in different regions. Here, I will list some of the most iconic seasonal dishes to give you a general idea. First of all, mooncakes, 月饼, is a kind of dessert we have to have at the Mid-Autumn dinner. Mooncakes are shaped like the full moon, with tasty fillings inside and pretty patterns outside. There are so many shapes and forms of traditional mooncakes, but nowadays only 2 types are most popular. One type is like the one I have here. It's a kind of oily, rich pastry. The filling is made of white lotus seed and, most importantly, pickled egg yolk, so it gives a perfect balance of sweet and salty. This is my absolute favorite, and I'm saving this for the 21st of September. The other popular type I couldn't find in the city I live in, unfortunately, but I'm sure it's everywhere in mainland China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. It's called 冰皮月饼, with a half-transparent pastry and sweet, fruity fillings. If you like other creative forms of mooncakes, you can also find ice cream version by Haagen-Dazs and coffee-flavored version by Starbucks. This video is not sponsored by either of the companies, but if some marketing guys out there are watching and want to send me mooncakes to sponsor me, then please, don't be shy. The next typical Moon Festival dishes is the Chinese mitten crab, 大闸蟹, a medium-sized river crab that is named for its hairy claws, which resemble mittens. It's especially popular in eastern China, around Shanghai, Hangzhou region. Fun fact, after being introduced to Europe, it has been listed as an invasion alien species due to its abundance, high reproduction rate, and high physiological tolerance. So if you happen to live near a river in Europe, you might get a chance to see them yourself. The secret of the crab dish is to preserve its natural taste by steaming the crabs. Then we'll dip the crab meat into a sauce made of vinegar and ginger. In Chinese medicine, we believe that the crabs have the nature of yin and coldness, so it's better to balance it out with food of yang and hotness. If you want to know more about Chinese medicine theories and some health enhancement tricks, feel free to check out this video right here. The next one is also not vegan friendly. In my hometown Beijing, there's a famous specialty, Peking roast duck. 北京烤鸭. As the name suggests, it's a cooking method that roasts the ducks with fruit tree logs and then slice it and wrap it into a super thin pancake with sauce and other accompaniments like cucumbers. Normally, mid-autumn is a great season to eat ducks. So apart from Peking roast duck, we also have other duck dishes in the south of China. If you happen to know one or two of the duck dishes, feel free to leave a comment down below. The last dish I introduced to you is finally vegan friendly. It's originated from Hangzhou. It's called 桂花糯米藕, made of lotus roots, sticky rice, and osmanthus flowers. We clean up the lotus roots, stiff the holes with sticky rice, and then steam them. After, we cut them and put a special sweet sauce made of osmanthus flowers on top. Osmanthus flowers are so beautiful when they blossom in mid-autumn seasons. You can also put it in honey, tea, and some pastries to make desserts. Lastly, we have some sentences, proverbs, and poems that are commonly used during the Moon Festival. If you want to wish someone a happy Mid-Autumn Festival, you can say 中秋节快乐, literally means Happy Mid-Autumn Festival. Another way is to use the nickname of the festival, the Mooncake Festival. So you can say 月饼节快乐, since most Chinese people reunite with their families. For those who are not in their hometown, they always feel homesick when looking at the big bright moon alone. So there's a Chinese proverb, 月是故乡明, saying that the moon would be the brightest in hometown. We also have so many poems about the Mid-Autumn festivals, since it's the most emotional time of the year. Famous poets have soul-touching lines to express their homesickness, grand visions, and best wishes for the loved ones. Since the Chinese poems are quite advanced and deserve separate videos to talk about, I will list 3 of them briefly. You can always rewatch this part later if you are fascinated by the beauty of Chinese poetry. Li Bai from Tang Dynasty wrote 举头望明月, 低头思故乡, which translates like this: I raise my head and see the bright moon. I bow my head and miss my home. Another poet from Tang Dynasty named Zhang Jiuling had a picturesque sentence, 海上生明月, 天涯共此时, which means that the bright full moon rises above the sea and everyone is enjoying this magnificent moment. Lastly, the famous poet of Song Dynasty, Su Shi, had the most iconic line, 但愿人长久, 千里共婵娟, which expresses his hope for eternal love, since we are all under the same divine moonlight, even being thousands of miles apart. That's it for today. Now you know all the essence of Mid-Autumn Festival. Are you going to say Happy Mid-Autumn Festival to your friends? Tell me in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram for more exclusive contents about Chinese culture and Chinese proverbs. I also have other videos about ancient Chinese culture, Chinese zodiac signs, and 5 elements. You can find them right here. Thanks for watching. I will see you next week.